Hey everyone, you're at home with Melissa, and I want to introduce you to the newest member of our family. What happened to the light? It just went fluey. But I want to introduce you to the latest member of our family. This is Spike. Look at her. Yeah. She's a 3-year-old bearded dragon, and she comes to me from my friend Ashley. And Ashley had got Spike for her stepdaughter Sami. Sammy's getting a little older, and she's not as interested in having a reptile. And these guys need a lot of attention and a lot of love. They're really affectionate. They're often sold as first reptiles for people to have as pets. And the reason is because they are so affectionate. They'll sit with you for hours, but it's really not good to keep them out of their heat for more than like a half hour, so you should probably set a timer. Because they'll stick with you. They'll sit on your lap. They're called lap lizards a lot of times, study buddies. Because they'll just sit on your chest like she is on me right now. Sit on your shoulder, your head. Oh, look at your little tired girl. And, okay, I am not someone who has always been nuts for reptiles. Look at them, sure. Like to watch them. I think they're fascinating. And when I agreed to take Spike, I was determined to give her a really good home. I know that Ashley and her family would have given her a marvelous home, and I was determined that Spike would have a good home here with me, but I didn't like the idea of holding her in thoughts. I thought I was going to have to force myself to and kind of get used to it. I can't see her all that well, but you guys can. And I thought I'd have to get used to it, but within a few hours of her being here, she started to act as though she wanted to get out of her habitat. And when I opened it to pet her, to kind of soothe her, she climbed on top of it and just waited there. So I picked her up and I started petting her, and within a few minutes her little eyes were going closed and she was getting all relaxed and happy. So I fell in love with her that first time. No acclimation necessary on my part. But if you're wondering how big she'll get, it depends on her species, which I'm not sure of yet. I haven't done any research to be able to tell one species from another. I'm so sorry. But, because, you know, the care of them is about the same, and it's just to know different details about them, like knowing how big they get. The littlest ones stay tiny, tiny, tiny. And the ones in the mid-range get up to about 18 inches long, and then the largest ones get to be 24 inches long, and the males are bigger than the females. Aww. Now, as lizards, of course, they're cold-blooded, so they have to stay warm. And do you want to climb up higher, honey? Yeah. Oh, now you're getting a good view of her, guys. Check her out. Look at her patterns. Her little eyes. Oh, her little sleepy eyes. Oops, sorry. But anyway, what she'll eat, whenever they're little, you want most of their diet to be meat. But as they get more mature, their diet should be about 90% greens and 10% proteins. Good proteins to feed her. There are various cockroaches that are good for them. You can feed them some snails, but you want to make sure, you have to make sure that that particular kind of snail is not toxic first. And crickets, you can feed them. Pet stores make it sound like crickets are the ideal food for them, but they're actually not, just because they're not really all that nutritional. And earthworms, you can give them as a snack. But you don't want to give it to them often because earthworms are really fatty. So you want to limit how much, just a treat now and then. And the bulk of their diet, like I said, at her age, the bulk of her diet should be greens. Excellent green to feed her, kale. In fact, I'm getting things together to plant. I still need the containers to do it. We're going to plant us a hydroponic grow bed of different things in my kitchen windows. We're going to grow kale. We're going to grow lettuce. The spinach is for me. It can bind to calcium and isn't necessarily the best thing to give to a dragon. And lettuce really isn't either, because it's high in water content and low in nutrition. The kale is excellent, and I will probably give her lettuce as a treat now and then for something different for her. I'm also going to grow watercress as basically, we'll see if she likes it or not. If not, I'll eat it. We'll have our breakfast together, Spike. Oh, salads. What do you think? Yeah, she looks happy about it. And they can even eat things like mince and basil, things like that. Basically, for the most part, any greens you eat, they can eat. And so that's a good guideline to go on. But if you're going to have a bearded dragon, there are different websites on the computer, including some nonprofit organizations, where it would be a good idea to look up what diet's really good for them and what's best to give and stay away from. And in terms of the proteins, like I said, crickets, not very nutritional. Earthworms, fatty. Different cockroaches, good. You can feed them snails, but you want to make sure they're not toxic. And as always, I caution you not to collect animals and bugs and things to feed them out in the wild, because they can carry diseases, pestilence, parasites that can harm or kill your lizard. And crickets are a really good example of this, because in the wild, oh my goodness, they are susceptible to all kinds of diseases and parasites. It's like the poor little cricket, all it's got going for it is that it reproduces like mad, because each individual cricket's really got the odds stacked against it. It's, you know, everything wants to eat it, including diseases and parasites. Just a sad thing. Look at her. What do you guys think? She's really cute. Let me know if you think she's cute. Because I'm telling you, I'm totally in love with her. And I love when her eyes go closed. And it's just, I'm sure it's just she's soaking up my body heat, and she's getting warm. And she's getting relaxed because she's getting petted. I know it's no real affection, but I have affection for her already. And these guys are an excellent first lizard. They tend to be non-aggressive. You can see how calm she is. And she'll sit like this pretty much almost as long as I'll let her. Sometimes she'll crawl up on my head, things like that. But as far as being with you, they want to. In fact, she gets kind of antsy if she's in her habitat. She wants to be out and be held. But I've heard that you really shouldn't take them out of their habitat for more than like a half an hour at a time, because she needs to get back in there and get back to being warm again. So those are just some few minor things that I could think of to tell you. And basically, when I'm holding her, I'm a little distracted. So, but I wanted you to get a really good look, and close up sitting on you, you get a much better view of her than you would if I were just filming her in her habitat. And I just also kind of wanted to see just how docile, how tame, and how interactive she is. Isn't that great? Look at her. Oh, love her to pieces. Anyway, again, I thank you for joining me so much, and I'm really glad that you let me introduce you to Spike. I'll probably do informational videos down the road, but when I do, most likely I'll film her instead of film her in her habitat or out crawling around the house, rather than as I'm holding her, because I just get too distracted and it's hard to remember what I wanted to say to you. But down the road we'll give you some of those. But I'll tell you what, if you're looking online, lots of websites and lots of YouTube videos as well, some of them really excellent, about bearded dragons and their care. Just one little point of interest I want to make before we wrap it up about the beardies is that they are indigenous to the deserts of Australia as a species, well, as a class of animal. They're indigenous to Australia, but none of the ones you get in the pet stores are going to be from Australia. It was, I think, more than a couple of decades ago, Australia outlawed the exportation of them. So these guys are all captive bred, but I guess from what I hear that even wild bearded dragons really are easy to get to know, that they'll come up to you and things. Not sure if that's true, I haven't seen. But anyway, thanks again for joining me. Thanks for letting me introduce you to Spike, and I hope that you're having a really good day and that you just kind of enjoy yourself between now and the next time we get to see each other. And in the meantime, live, love, learn. All right, I'll see you soon. Thanks again. Bye.